Hi. Wiggity wiggity whack, I came from Iraq, I'm not white, I'm not black. Okay, so maybe you guys already got my introduction. I thought I was speaking in advance to the talk. So it looks like everyone's kind of clustering together. That's lovely. Everyone has put their phone into airplane mode. I'll just take some time. Oh, I'm gonna let this be an offer to you to let yourselves relax. Cool? Yeah, check it out. I'm not wearing any shoes. By all means, this is going to be a slower paced talk. I'm not going to be throwing a lot of information at you. Yeah, take off your tie, let down your hair. Yeah. Cool. So we have our phones in airplane mode, and hopefully we have a ballpoint pen or a pen in our hands. We'll be needing that a little bit later. And I think I'll start with a really quick intro to me and some of the questions that I'd like to ask with us today. And also, welcome everybody from Gig. Who here is from Gig? Giggers! Okay, great. This is awesome. So the Gig is I feel really overpowering. The Gig is a network of people that set up collaborative, creative spaces all over the world. There are people from Rwanda and Kenya and Egypt. And my name is Bilal, and I work on helping people set up spaces like this in Iraq and Lebanon, Egypt and Morocco. And I've been doing this for a couple of years, and this year, really exciting news, but also really, really scary news to me. The exciting news is that the White House had their first Maker Faire. The Maker Faire is a show and tell of creative people getting together and showing off projects. It's kind of one of the hallmarks of a maker society. And this whole maker movement is going really international. And it's getting a lot of attention from corporations and governments that are trying their best to collaborate with what I see as a transforming world in a way that's really sincere and lovely, but I think is a really important moment, especially this year with the White House Maker Faire and all this funding coming in for us as giggers, and hopefully everyone else that realizes we have two things in life, a lifespan and energy to do stuff. That we should take a step back and think about what we actually want to do with our time before connecting with funders, before starting a creativity or innovation hub, trying to figure out what do we really want to spend our time doing, and is this doing that or is this not? And it says hum up here because instead of telling you what I think, I want you to feel what is within you. This is really all internal work, hopefully, for all of us, myself included. And I'm not trying to be prescriptive. I'm just trying to create some experiences that can help us feel something and hopefully take away something together. So if anybody's done this game, please play along. The way it works is we start to hum, and then everyone hums the same note. And when you feel inspired, give it a few moments to sink in, change the note either up or down. Has anybody played this game? Cool, we have one person, a couple of people, great. So who wants to start us off? Okay. That's really lovely. You guys are great hummers. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that helped you calm down a little bit more. And that experience that we just had is connected to the title of the talk, which is Singing with the Universe. And the analogy of singing with the universe came to me a couple of months ago. I'd been seeing a lot of really horrible stuff happen, especially as I work in Iraq, and I don't really know how to respond. And sometimes I feel really pushed when I see awful things in the news, and I feel like, oh man, I must do something good. Or sometimes when I'm really scared and I don't have enough money, I think like, man, what can I do to rush out and make some money? And one day I had this thought that that's not how the universe works. I think in a very natural way. I really like Seneca. And so a lot of the philosophy that I really appreciate tries to reconnect us with our most natural and basic ways of being. And the analogy of singing with the universe is about a guitarist who's up on stage with a jam session, jamming, just like playing. So, and then, as the drummer is playing and as the bassist is playing, from a really calm bass, rather than going up there with a bunch of flourishes and playing on the high notes, overpowering everybody and everything, trying to show his technical skills or her technical skills, what I really love and what I feel is most authentic in a beautiful jam session is when the guitarist plays the right note at the right time. And so that idea of the right action and the right time for that action is this concept of singing with the universe. And in order to do that, we need to know a couple of things. We first need to listen to the song of the universe and accept that things are pretty much fundamentally okay as is. Singing with the universe kind of implies that everything is going along harmoniously. And so in the experiment that I'd like to play with you guys right now, after humming, is listening and realizing something very, very important, and that is that nothing that you're hearing has your hand in making it happen. You don't make the sunrise, you don't make the sound of the audience outside, or any other sounds you hear. So I'd like to take a moment to listen to see what is being sung right now. So let's just take a minute. It's hard to let go. But you don't even make your heart beat. Cool. So, has anybody been able to relax and realize that they're not in charge of the audience talking outside or the carts rolling around or the wind blowing or the streets? Does anybody feel like they can let go? Anybody? Oh, great, it works. It's really hard. This is something that we need practice on. A lot of our training in life is you must act now. Especially in America, our success is so much defined by our freedom. in America, there's this myth of freedom that you are responsible for your life and your actions and your success in the outcomes. But so much of our lives are really not in our control. And there's this guy named Epictetus, really old dude, slave, but also a Stoic philosopher. And he talks about freedom in a new light. He suggests that there's two categories of things in the world. Stuff that we have control over, and then stuff that we don't have control over. And the stuff that we have control over, does anybody know? Does anybody remember? Anybody read any Epictetus? Yes, who are you? You're awesome! Okay, she did this. So Epictetus suggests, and he was a slave, right? So he knows this best, that the thing that you really have control over is the stuff that goes on in your own head. And sometimes that includes how you respond to things, right? Yep. And so what I'm going to suggest right now is a little tool that I use to help me connect to that idea of singing with the universe, so that I don't respond from a place of fear, or I don't respond because I'm needy, or because somehow I have this guilt-driven motivation that I need to do something. And this is when you're going to go talk to your partner next to you, and we're going to draw a symbol. And that symbol is drawn on your hand. So many of the projects that I've done in the past have been called all hands active, or the two hands projects, and we've been talking about the do-ocracy, or the get it done, and fail fast, and do first, and think about it later. And after some time, I realized that I wasn't actually living the life that I wanted to live. I wasn't spending the time I wanted in the way that I really expected. And so I added two more elements. Element one, and I'd like you to draw this on your neighbor, if that's cool. If your neighbor is cool. I'm sure your neighbor is cool. By the way, if they're in this talk, they're probably way cool. Okay. So in the center, we're drawing an eye. And then around the center, we're drawing a heart. And the hand frames it all. And so the symbol symbolizes three stages that I think can help us sing with the universe. Oh yeah, and if you want to exchange names, that would be great. Say, hello, my name is Bilal. I'm going to draw on your hand. Yeah, feel free to chat with each other. And if you came in and you're in the back, squeeze in close to other people. That would be important. Okay, it looks like most people have finished their drawings. And I'm pulling out my phone. That's lovely, that's beautiful. Okay, so this part of the game that we're playing together involves your telephones. So for the people that have attention in the front, Shiloh, please pull out your phones. We're going to create something that it's just a suggestion. But this suggestion hopefully will help us navigate around a future midlife crisis or late life crisis. And it's a very simple suggestion, and that's to click on your calendar app. If everyone wants to play along, please do, or do this later if you remember. And schedule a monthly check-in with yourself. Literally, once a month, 30 minutes, just check in with yourself and ask yourself a very simple set of questions. Something like, what did I do last month? And is that what I want to be doing with my time? That's it. So if you want a suggestion for what to call it, you can call it check myself before I wreck myself. Check it out. Something like that. Yeah, that would be great. I'm going to do it with you guys actually right now. So title is going to check myself. I think Sundays are good days, probably, for people, for me at least. Sundays is a good day. And the repeat should be every Sunday. Every month. Oh, sorry, once a month on Sunday. And repeat, never check myself, starting May 10. Add. Anybody excited about this monthly check-in? Should be cool. So, there's a reason why the hand is really important. And I think a lot of people think that this is kind of what makes mankind mankind. It's like this really heavy object on top of our necks. But really, the first things that we did when we came out of the caves, we put our hands up, and we blew, and we left a mark, kind of showcasing sort of humanity's mark stepping out into the world. We use our hands to create and to express ourselves and to satisfy our needs. Like we said earlier, we have time and energy to do stuff, and some of that energy that we expend must go to satisfying our fundamental human needs. And there are these ideas that entrepreneurship could potentially help us connect through that, and maker culture helps us connect to that because it involves the manufacturing of stuff, physical things. We're physical creatures and we have physical needs. And I think this is one of the lovely and exciting things that the hubs are approaching with their work. A lot of these hubs, fab labs, makerspaces, hackerspaces, a lot of what's really exciting about them, and one of the reasons why so many corporations and governments and people and humans are interested, is that it's talking about that accessing of our creativity and agency that I believe we've traded for the industrialization, for mass production, and for kind of like a sad and miserable existence in a way. Like we've traded our creativity for commodity, and we sort of lost our humanity. And the hubs are like, nah, brah, you're creative. Don't you remember when you were 6 years old and you were finger painting? Where did that person go, right? Or when you thought you were going to be an inventor and you were like making things out of paper and using your imagination. Somehow, we lost all that with like shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or sort of this mechanized educational system, especially in America. It never really suited me, and I think a lot of people are seeing these spaces as potential opportunities to get out of this mode of education where we're creating cogs for a machine that eats humanity and spits out bones. And the hub has a foot in both worlds. The reason why we drew it like this, Josephine helped me make these slides, this is why they're so beautiful, is I feel like the hubs have this sort of understanding of that potential for solving our fundamental human needs in community, with openness and with sharing. We're like, I just chipped this stone and I killed this boar. You can chip a stone like that too and kill another boar, and we can have a feast, right? And using our creative capacity for supporting each other on planet Earth. Like literally we're all dying, and why not try to connect and create and bond together? And those are in my view, like open source ideals that are offlining, as John said earlier today. And it's not like it's something new. It's actually something older than the capitalist model, where we've exchanged our like creative capacity for blandness. It's something way older, when we were crafting our tools with embellished handles, and our toolkits looked like works of art. And somehow we've forgotten the craftspeople. We've forgotten the people that made our chairs, and we've found ourselves here and kind of like wondering, like, what the hell is the point? And I think this is this half over here. And then the other half of the hubs, we've been talking about this a lot these days, has been about The current models of the world that satisfy our fundamental human needs are governments and corporations and jobs and careers. And they are wondering how they participate in the conversation. So there's a lot of funding that's coming about. And we're having these debates about looking at these funds that are coming to support entrepreneurship in the developing world. And I've had many discussions with people kind of questioning, like, do we need to import San Francisco startup culture to pick your African country or wherever? Like, do things need to look the same? We were talking a little earlier about, like, maybe we should think about collectives or small family businesses or other ways that we can be creative and satisfy our fundamental human needs and, like, give to each other and have lovely lives without needing to have these fancy schmancy glass-looking office buildings on the 52nd floor of somewhere to have an image of success. This image of success is coming from, I think what Epictetus would say, outside, not inside. And so this hand dealio, this eye seeing, I think is really important for us. I'm trying to be as loving as possible because I see so much potential with the gig and what we're doing together. And I think that these tools can help us, like, amplify the beauty, and so we can sing and play with everybody all at the same time. And the symbol, the hand, symbolizes inward looking. So if you put it to your chest, it's about self-knowledge, kind of like knowing what excites you, what motivates you, intrinsic motivations, what you're curious about, what questions you want to explore. And then if you look at it and it's out there in the world, on the outside, pointing out, you see the world as it is. This is another thing that Epictetus says. Epictetus says that we are born into the world and we exist today in relationship already, with responsibilities to these relationships. Responsibility is a big word. There's a reason why I chose the idea of a jam session. Because the person is simply adding to beauty when he plays that note. But we do have these connections to people. And we have some desire internally to connect. So when we look outside and say, hey, I'm in Egypt, what does my world look like? Who am I? How do I fit into this? And ask ourselves these questions, right? I get really excited about it. Especially when we're creating these spaces that are unlocking our creative capacity again, giving us tools, giving us access to communities, saying that if you don't know something, guess what? We're not going to hide our knowledge. We're going to share our knowledge, taking us back to the ways that we've developed before we started building all these walls, before these patents started limiting us and trying to silo value and wealth to a few, taking us back to how we got out of the tundras and the jungles and into these beautiful things called cities that are built by community, but suddenly seem to have lost community. And you have to pay for a coffee to be able to hang out with somebody. What the hell? Sorry. This is a positive chat. We're supposed to be, like, chilling out and, like, meditating and stuff. Okay, so we're here and we're talking about this challenge of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, about these creative spaces that are influenced by the lining of open source culture and are trying to navigate between these two worlds. How do we get money to be able to support the initiatives that we think will be able to do this from a system that doesn't understand the values that we're coming from? And this world that totally is authentic and understands and also has some needs that are currently met by this place. $1 bills, y'all, let's hang out and share our basements. Anyway, so that's the challenge that I'm seeing right now. And so, if we're going to create a bridge into this potential beautiful world where we're supporting ourselves with different structures and strategies, we need something. We need to feel safe. How do we feel safe? Okay, so this is where we're going to play another game. The game is derived from my own personal experience, where one day I realized that I had a friend, and if she ever felt like she was lost and she didn't know what to do with her life, or she had a challenge and her job fired her because she spoke her mind and was like a whistleblower, or for whatever reason she needed support, I realized that for whatever little I have, I would share it with her. And I think this provides like a base level of safety But in order to understand that this security is there, we need to articulate it. So I'm suggesting that if you have somebody in your life, that if they came like crashing out of a plane and into your doorstep, you would open them, help them in, and ask them how you could be of service. And it's in good times and in bad. It's in times when we're really excited and we want people to cheer with us. And it's in those times when we're really, really low and we just need someone where we feel like we can curl up in a ball and not worry about stuff. This is what it means to be a human being, at least to me. Have this care and empathy. And so, if anybody has that person in their life, I think we need to see that. So I would like you to stand up and show that you'd stand up for somebody else. Okay, so we're all standing, like literally, except for that guy, but literally almost all of us are standing up right now. But do those people know this? Do they know that they have this support waiting for them? Do they know that if they wanted to take that risk that's deep in their heart, that they've done this internal check-in for? Do they know that they can take that step into nothingness and realize that if it actually materialized and it was nothing, that they'd land into John's arms or into with Samit, right? So, how about we send an email to those people? And it could have a very simple title. I don't think we have time to do it all together, but please set up the draft. And just say something, I don't know, however you want to frame it, but say something like, hey, Habibi, I care, and I want to be there for you. I want to be there for you when you're excited. I want to be there for you when you're sad. Feel free to be the most you. So if you like, I'm going to do that email for myself right now. And we're going to do this together if you have a phone. But make it a draft. Finish it later. I'm sorry, we'll have to do this a little quickly. Okay, so save this draft, and we're going to wrap up. The thought is, in order to go somewhere new, we need to have this community of people to show support. If I was about to fall off this stage, literally right now, and trip, I swear, most of you have an empathetic human heart. I know. Who here would come and ask if I was okay? Most people, right? And you just met me. There is something fundamental about human empathy and care. And so I want to say that we've all went through an experience together just now, and I'm offering that we all come up and have don't rush. We all come up and have a nice big group hug, and then do our first monthly check-in at 6 o'clock at the Gig Makerspace, where we can have this dialogue with ourselves and say hey, how's your life been going? Really, what's going on with you? What do you want to be doing with your time? How can I help you? Can we do that together? And so 6 o'clock, the Gig Makerspace. Right now, hug? Yeah? Can we do that? And that's it. Thank you. Oh, dude. Is this all the gig people? No, there's new people here. Yay! Oh. Hey. Oh, great. This is awesome.
Did someone take a picture of us?
We've got one over here. Hey, Samura. Oh. I think I finished on time. Gabby. Hey. Cool. Woo, toasty.